All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Big win by the Pens tonight. That's our GMC tweet of the night, beating the Panthers 4-2. Speaking of the Panthers, the Steelers don't even know which quarterback is going to start in Carolina against the football version of the Panthers, Pony. I do think there is a chance Kenny Pickett could play. He was out there a little bit today. Here's what, I don't know if you saw any of the video that we had, but he was out there wearing a visor. And I didn't know. That's the first time I've seen him in a visor. It was clear. But I was wondering if that had anything to do with the concussion protocol or if it had anything to do with the lighting that they were in the indoor facility today. I was curious because I didn't have a chance to talk to him after practice about it or anyone else.
Yeah, and we know how players are so superstitious about their equipment. Sidney Crosby is a great example of that. Think about Antonio Brown and the ruckus he raised in Oakland when he was with the Raiders over the type of helmet he was allowed or wasn't being allowed to use. A lot of athletes, premier athletes, are like that. So for a player to change his helmet on the fly in the middle of a season, even if it's just a shield on it, would, to me, come as a big surprise because guys are usually getting into such a routine and so comfortable looking a certain way. And so that when I saw that same tweet put out by the Steelers today, pictures of him, and I thought the same thing, Richie, that really might be related to what's happened to his head injuries here over the last couple of months.
Yeah, because he didn't have it on yesterday. Let's go out to Josiah in San Antonio. What's up, Josiah?
Hey, Rich. Hey, Andrew. I wanted to say first before I got into my take, thank you to Chris last night. I was laying in bed watching the good old KDKA, the sports call, and I heard he gave me a little shout-out last night.
Yeah.
So thanks to Chris. But real quick on the defense, guys. This defense is atrocious, and like you guys mentioned, they cannot stop the run when they knew Baltimore was coming down their throat. Let me ask you guys this real quick. I know this hasn't been talked about, but Stephon Stewart's replacement, Chris Wormley, he is a disaster. I mean, the dude makes no plays. He's on the field for thousands of plays. He does nothing. And then second of all, Minka Fitzpatrick, I know he had that abdominal surgery, what have you. He's been invisible, too. I mean, they spent all this money into the defense. Is this the thanks they get? I mean, this defense is atrocious.
All right, thanks a lot, Josiah. I'm not as critical of Wormley. I mean, I thought he's been pretty good this year. Larry Ogunjobi's been pretty good. Yeah, it was a bad game, and you can't make excuses. You knew that they were going to run the ball, especially with Anthony Brown at quarterback. I mean, I would have rushed as many guys as I could, knowing that guy wasn't going to beat you.
Yeah, I did not get it at the end of the game. What happened there, what happened really all game. But really after Huntley went out and it was Brown and there was no way he was going to light them up. You know, one of the plays that I thought was an underrated major mistake, Richie, was on that 8-minute possession that ended in the Ravens field goal. There was almost an interception on first down where Casey barely missed one. And then on second down, they let Demarcus Robinson catch a ball for like 6 or 7 yards because Levi Wallace was playing soft coverage. Why? What were the odds that Brown was going to throw the ball downfield in that situation? You know, I heard Terrell Austin today blame execution. I thought there were some scheme problems defensively. Like, why was Cam Hayward at nose tackle on that big J.K. Dobbins run for 44 yards? When we saw Hayward at nose tackle in Cincinnati last year, Richie, you were there. Joe Mixon ran for over 200 yards. Cam's a great player, but you don't put him at nose tackle like he's a Casey Hampton. He's not as good there, and that falls on the coaching staff. Richie, why did Devin Bush play so much more than Robert Spillane in that game? You know Spillane can stop the run. Spillane did it against Derrick Henry in Tennessee. So I don't think it's just on the players. I think there's some bad coaching going on.
You have to worry about Mark Andrews, of course. There's no question in that game.
Mark Andrews didn't have a big game.
I know, but
they didn't let Mark Andrews beat him.
That's the guy you got to worry about, though. But, I mean, I'd have them all in there. I would have had my big grouping because you know they're going to run the ball. Just, you know, put a lot of pressure on your corners. Say, hey, look, don't let these guys get open. They're going to run because this dude's not going to throw the ball. All right, let's go out to JP in Squirrel Hill. How you doing, JP?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Thanks for calling.
Hey, a few things about Pickett. How many more concussions can this guy take before it's like, I mean, you got to wonder about his longevity in the league. Second, Tony, you suggested that Purdy is not better than him. But based on what I'm seeing from Purdy, I mean, this guy is throwing he's throwing dimes, man. I don't see that really from
You know, JP, thanks for your call. That could be the offense, too. You know, I put a lot of this blame on Matt Canada, right, Pony? And going back to his initial thought, now I forget the question. What was it?
About Pickett?
Yeah, about Pickett.
About the concussions.
About the concussion. Yeah, that's why I want to sit him this week. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. But I think these hedge injuries, you need to sit guys, arrest guys, and make sure they're okay. We've seen what Sidney Crosby went through, and some of the other guys.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I don't know of any concussion history for Pickett up until this year. It's not like he was always out at Pitt with them. I don't know about his high school career anytime before that, so I'd have to do some digging on that. But, I mean, anytime a player, whether it's a quarterback, Pat Freiermuth has multiple concussions in the last few months. You know, are we worried about his long-term future in football now? Maybe we should. I don't know. I mean, Tua is back playing. Tua had two.
Yeah.
Tua's going to play Saturday night against Buffalo. So, I mean, we know of careers that have been derailed by concussions. You do hold your breath a little bit right now with Kenny Pickett, though, because he suffered a couple of them in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, just like Tua did, too. Let's go out to Kirk and Hempfield. How you doing, Kirk?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hey, I just wanted to make one quick point. You let me know what you think about it. I still believe this will be Mike Tomlin's first losing season, but the way I look at it, the other A team belonged to Ben Roethlisberger. He still has never had a losing season. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot, Kirk. I think there's no question it's going to be a losing season for the Steelers. I don't see them running the table here.
Well, and I wonder if that's going to cause some changes to get made, Richie. It should. There should be a new offensive coordinator. But are they going to pay Matt Canada basically $1 million to go do something else? I don't know. They don't really have a history of doing that. There's a couple examples that popped up over the years. This should be another one of those where you go out and get an offensive coordinator with a legitimate resume. I hope that they do that. I would be surprised right now, Richie, if Brian Flores is back on their staff next year. You heard Terrell Austin talk today. It doesn't sound like Brian Flores really has any kind of special role, does it? Where they're letting him do more than a normal coach. He basically said his opinion counts as much as a defensive line coach or a secondary coach. Don't you think, even though he's suing the league, which is a big deal, don't you think he can get a better job than that this offseason? I would think so, unless they promote him to defensive coordinator. But even then, it's not like he's going to call the plays, Richie. That's what Tomlin does.
I mean, I don't know if defense is the big problem right now. I don't know what is the big problem. I mean, they couldn't stop the run last week. There's no question that was a huge problem.
Well, has their defense underachieved this year? Yes or no?
Yes, but they only gave up 16 points last week. Yeah, okay, it was against two backup quarterbacks, but the defense has been playing relatively better since T.J. Watt came back, right? Yeah, they do have their flaws, but the offense can't score points. So it has to be frustrating for the defense when you're only giving up 16, 17 points per game, and your offense can't even get to that point. I still think you have to look at the
scored 30 points in a game during all this, and they still lost against the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to look at it globally, though. That last touchdown I don't even count that, but I think you got to look at globally. You look at the last 2 years of Matt Canada. What is he averaging? I mean, what is that offense averaging in points? They're
near the bottom of the league. I can tell you that much. They're not averaging 20 points a game.
And the old gunslinger was the reason why they have a lot of points, because he took the headset off and said, I'm going to do what I want in the fourth quarter.
Richie, I need you to text me a list of some nice restaurants in Charlotte. You used to go down there for preseason games.
Yeah.
My wife and I are going to be in Charlotte for the game on Sunday. We need some places to eat on Friday and Saturday.
Okay. Well, I'll be there. So I'll get you a list. We got to take a break right now, though, Pony. Back in a couple minutes.